ahead to my third IVIG infusion. It's super fucking early. You probably can tell by how tired I look. I didn't really vlog my second one because they're all the same, but I did record a little clip about how I felt after that one because I did feel a little worse than my first one, so I'll insert that here. So I didn't know whether I was going to document this, but I decided to either for my own reference to look back on or to stick in a vlog somewhere. But I just got home from my second IVIG infusion, and this week my hair is a mess. We upped the dose from 20 grams to 30 grams, and unfortunately we had to change the brand because of insurance issues, so it was a more concentrated solution, 10% instead of a 5%. So essentially we ran a larger dose over the same amount of time that my initial dose was run over, and it was rough. Like, I felt much worse this infusion, not horrible, but worse this infusion than my first one. And I don't know if it's just because it was run a little faster, or it was just a higher dose in general, or it was the new brand, or just the day. But we had to stop it halfway through for like a little 30-minute break because I just felt like I was being pummeled, and I had to take some Zyrtec and Zantac H1, H2 blocker mid-infusion to help with the symptoms. And that all helped things calm down a little bit so that I could finish off the infusion. But just very, flu-like, started to get a headache, very mild headache, really achy, my stomach was hurting, I just felt really off. And by the end, I was just beat. Driving home was just really hard, sitting in the car. I was just so achy and my head was hurting. It was sunny. There were cars everywhere. Luckily my dad drove me, but it was tough. It's tough being in the car when you're in pain or you're sick. I'm home now, and just resting, and I got a fever towards the end of my infusion as well, mild fever. So just trying to monitor all my symptoms and rest and drink tons of fluids to hopefully keep everything from flaring up too much. Right now this is actually hard to film. I'm just feeling so fatigued and my eyes are hurting, so I'm gonna go lay down. But yeah, so that was infusion number 2, and I'm hoping that with detox and fluids tomorrow, like, I don't feel too horrible again. Hoping for a good outcome overall, like my first infusion went, and then, fingers crossed for ultimate healing, right? Today's kind of a big deal because I'm finally going to do my max dose of 40 grams. So it's gonna be a long day, my first infusion of my full dose, and this should be fun. So I'm about to head out. My dad's gonna pick me up and drive me, and we'll see how today goes. So I'm home from my third IVIG infusion. We didn't end up increasing the dose like we were supposed to my max dose. And that was mainly because, because at my last infusion, my second infusion, we increased the dose and the brand changed. And then I've traveled the past 2 weeks and I've had a lot of fatigue. And so they want to make sure that I'm not reacting to the brand. So we decided to keep everything the same and kind of eliminate too many variables and make sure that I'm handling the brand change okay. And that it was more, the fatigue was unrelated to that. And like basically be precautious, that's not a word. It was a precautionary measure to kind of keep me at the 30 grams on this brand, make sure I react okay before increasing at my next infusion in a couple weeks. But my arm hurts, hold on. But overall, this infusion went pretty okay, pretty smooth. At my last infusion, I had to take a break halfway through because it was just like really hitting me. And this time I was able to get through like the whole thing without taking a break. The last hour was rough. I started to feel like achy, headachy, neck pain, that sort of thing. But as soon as the infusion finished and we took it out and I got to sit there for a little bit and just drink a lot of water, I started to feel better. I'm of course just like worn out after a long day of an IV. and tired and like gonna rest per usual, but that's really all I felt so far, and I'll keep you all posted. But I think that I'll handle this okay, this infusion okay, because it was the same dose as last time and nothing drastic changed. So yeah, like I didn't have a fever and feel horrible like I did after the last one. The other thing is that my stomach is, or I'm having like a lot of bloating and abdominal pain, but that could be a result of having to get up really early for IVIG, because when I don't get enough sleep, it throws things off. But I've also noticed that just on the infusion days themselves, like my gut bothers me more, and that seems to go away the next day. So fingers crossed. Digestive stuff can be a side effect of IVIG. So that's my update for now. I'm way too tired to be trying to film at the moment, so I'm gonna go rest, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. So the thing that's most helpful, what I've noticed from the past few infusions, is the thing that's most helpful is making sure that I get a really hearty meal in after my infusion, and a lot of salt. So I usually have like a big dinner and then like a bag of chips later, because the salt just helps with like the post-infusion symptoms, and it seems to help me recover quicker. And obviously it makes sense, like making sure I get enough food and fuel in as my body is like working with this new treatment. Makes sense because it needs energy and fuel to do that. But also because one of the main symptoms I get from IVIG is that my blood sugar is all over the place and drops really easily for the next few days, so I have to eat more and more often. And I think that's just a result of like IVIG being an intense treatment. My body's trying to like adapt and heal. So it needs a lot of fuel. And then the salt is like extremely helpful, and my nurse mentioned that it's probably helpful because it helps absorb everything, like it helps the IVIG and all the fluids absorb. So I'm about to have dinner. I'm having a big plate of essentially roasted veggies. I made a sheet pan meal earlier this week. So what I do is I chop up a bunch of veggies and put them on a baking pan, and then I used purple sweet potato, turnips, Brussels sprouts, and then I marinated some lamb stew meat in like mint and rosemary and thyme, and then added that to the sheet pan, and I just roast everything. Super simple and easy to do, and I added some kale at the very end so it wouldn't get too crispy. But like I said, super simple and easy. I prepped it for the week, so I had a bunch, and I'm just eating like a bunch of the leftovers tonight. So just this big plate of meat and veggies. Tons of salt, helps me recover, and it's delicious. It is the morning after IVIG, which is why I'm looking like a hot mess. But I'm about to do my detoxing. I know I detox all the time, y'all are used to that, but I have found that making sure I do a coffee enema the morning after IVIG helps combat or prevent the IVIG headache. I have not gotten the major IVIG headache, and the things I found to help that is I will start to get like a feeling that I'm gonna get a headache or a twinge of a headache, and I will either do a coffee enema, drink a ton of fluids, or lay down. I have found those things to really kind of nip that in the bud. I've also found that making sure, like the day of IVIG and most of the next day, making sure I like stay horizontal as much as possible. It's one of the most helpful things. I will usually sort of like start to feel okay, and I'll get up and start to do things, and my body will be like, I don't think so, not a good idea. And as soon as I lay down again, my symptoms improve. So lots of resting the night after IVIG and then the next day. But I'm gonna do my coffee enema, take a little bath, and catch up with y'all a little bit later. But feeling all right. I mean, this was the same dose as last time, so I don't think I will feel too bad. fluids are all hooked up. I've said this before, I do a liter of fluids, IV fluids the day before and the day after IVIG to help with hydration. Got them hooked up. Got my backpack with my fluids in them. And I'm gonna do my liter of fluids. I'm definitely feeling worn out today, but not too bad. So just gonna rest, do that. I need to run to the grocery store and get some dinner, but that's kind of my only big thing for today. Otherwise, a lot of resting. I think I'm just gonna end this vlog here. I mean, IVIG is not that exciting, but I am moving this month, and things are just getting crazy, like getting ready to pack. You can see all the boxes over there. We've been doing some packing and then moving. I'm sure all of you know it's such a pain in the ass. So I probably won't get another video up until after I move, until this fall, till September, probably not for the rest of the month. But once I move, I do want to get a pantry tour video filmed for all of you. I think that will be fun in my new place. And then I also, I'll do an IVIG video once I reach my max dose and kind of like a full health update with that. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, don't forget to leave it in the comments. I'm happy to take requests on videos if there's info you want to learn or things you want to see. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps support my channel, and hit that little red subscribe button. It also helps support my channel, and it means a lot when all of you do that. And I'll see you next time.